Hey, welcome to my video. I'm Jennifer Roberts and you're catching me at True Divine 4-4. Excuse the voice, that throat chakra still isn't coming back full force, but it will do. It will do. Thank you for checking in with me. Thank you for all of the support that you've all shown me, and not to go over old ground, but you know what I'm talking about, and I'm sending so much love to all of you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for knowing me. Thank you for taking me as you find me, rather than as somebody or some others would choose you find me. So this is getting back into the flow, getting back to me, taking back my time, giving a lot of time to helping others. And I do not regret that 1 second. And still to those even that, haven't shown that back. I still don't take that back, because it gave me something to give in that moment in time. And, it is about giving where we can, but with wisdom. So taking my energy back, taking my time back, and giving my time back to a family that I know I can rely on, which is you guys. And you know who you all are, this family that we've built up here and over on Wayne's channel. I just appreciate it. Been avoiding social media, avoiding Telegram, avoiding my phone for the most part. It's been hectic, needing some time, and needing some time to heal also, and needing some time to heal little Theodopolis. Are you going to say hi quickly? Then you go. Okay. Shut the door. Thank you. So this is for the 5th of February 2022. Take what resonates, leave what does not. There is no offense taken. And leave a comment as to how you are finding the energies, how you are working your way through those energies and using them hopefully for your greatness, or where you feel you're at a detriment. I'll try and get in there on the chat and give you some aid, give you some spiritual guidance where I can. Anybody who's waiting for readings, anybody who's waiting for me to catch up with readings that I've offered, absolutely, I haven't forgotten. There's been a lot on, so I'm working my way through that list, and I'm working my way back to full force, full power, as you all know me best. So for the 5th of February 2022, let's see, I sound like a teenager with a voice breaking, don't I? 2022. So on the bottom of the deck, which is the underpinning energy of the reading, we have the 3 of Wands. So where's the light? That's best. 3 of Wands. 3 of Wands. There we go. So the 3 of Wands here, you can see they're being active. There is 2 of them working together, 2 cows. So the 4 creating that foundation, that movement, that they are built from firm foundations, plans that have been made. The 3 of Wands behind them depicting that action being taken, where the 2 of Wands is that embryonic idea. The 3 of Wands is right now we need to put the actions in motion. And so you can see here, they're sowing the seeds, the cows are pulling, the sun is shining. It's time to get active in whatever sphere you've known you've had to be active. And so, they're ignoring everything else around. They're very focused on the job or the action that needs to be taken. Now, on the bottom of the clarifying deck, we have, where is it? The 4 of Pentacles. And you can see here, it's in reverse. So in the upright, it is, you can see this guy, he's got the castle behind him, butterflies above him, very, very abundant foliage, but he's clinging on to these pentacles, which is earth. It's the things that you can feel, touch, and see. The fire of the wands being passions, drive, focus, the pentacles being everything you can feel, touch, and see, the physical. And so he's clinging on to them for love and money. In the reverse, he's finding it hard to cling on to the physical reality that he's built up, the physical reality that he's trying desperately to hold on to. for the most part, the message would be to say, let go, let it go, let it flow, because the more miserly you are, especially when the energies are driving you to let things be in flow, the more miserly you are and trying to grab at these pentacles and scoop them in. It's like trying to scoop sand when the tide's coming in and keep that sand in your arms. It's going to keep going out from beneath your arms. You can't keep it scooped in enough. And so it's a very uncomfortable space to be if that's the space that you're feeling. Or there is energies here underpinning with these two cards of the underpinning energies. This is that there are some of you amongst the group or the family or the relationship that are ready to take really positive action. And there are others that are trying to cling on to a reality that's being built up desperately so. And so the 2, 3, and the 4 they're not really working together, because the person or persons that is really wanting to cling on to this physical reality that they've built up, their pentacles, their money, the reality that they've created around them, the people that they've got around them, they're trying desperately to cling on to the status quo. Other people are wanting to go forward in a different, more positive direction. So there are opposing forces here. And so a lot of you might be coming across this in the collective in general, but in your personal lives too. In that, you know, many of us, including me, are coming across these opposing forces that where we want to take this positive action and move forward, move away from that doesn't serve us, or seeing where action needs to be taken and seeing the importance, being able to prioritize that, whereas others want to keep the status quo. One thing that's coming up real strong for me as I'm reading here is that be aware, particularly in those that are in movements, that those who are wanting to take positive actions that really will make a difference to help us shift the trajectory that we're going in, that we're being forced to go in by the powers that be, where you've got those energies and you're ready, you can see where a positive action can be taken and super impactful. Be aware that this opposing force is that a lot of people, especially amongst these movements around the world, have actually come into these movements and found a comfortability in this fight. But it's not a fight that they want to stay in, the fight that they've gotten comfortable in within the movement. So actually they would be clinging on to the core of the Ved status. They would be wanting to cling on to what the fight that has made them feel like they've got a team around them, that they've got a group around them, that they've created this reality that actually, although they're saying the words that they want it to end, their actions are scooping that sand. They're wanting to keep so your action, your wanting for taking action in a positive direction moving forward will not be liked. And so it really is these two opposing forces. Now, in your wisdom, you'll use this as a catalyst. You'll use this opposing force as you won't get trapped in by it. You will be that sand that goes out into the tide to flow out there into the expanse to make that bigger difference. You will not get caught up in the trap of these arms that are trying to cling on to a reality. But don't just think because you are in the same group, the same relationship, the same friendships, that you might say the same things, the same rhetoric, but at the same time, there are some amongst you, if this resonates with you, that want to cling on actually to this narrative that has been created because it's made them popular, it's made them feel wanted, it's made them feel powerful. And so you really do have to have that discernment as to who you go forward with these positive actions with, how you go forward with them, and not to be trapped into this miserly state of somebody else's wanting, putting down the projects that you've got and the ideas and the actions that you want to take, you know, putting a kibosh on them, whichever way. So it really is about discernment of who you're working with and who you're being around regarding these energies on the bottom of the deck. Now, going into the reading, we've got the Strength card, Major Arcana. And so this speaks of the divine feminine here. and the divine masculine being depicted here, in that it takes the poise and grace of the divine feminine intuitive side to go actually before the divine masculine side, to really have the strength and wisdom of knowing when to take and where to take these actions, what hills you want to die on, let's say. So really having that strength and balance of the divinities within yourself in order to have the strength to go against that looks like it's gold but is not, that is wanting to stay in the same fixed realities and not really change too much about the narrative or the realities that you find yourself in. So really having this balance and strength and recognizing that you are infinite. If you're really feeling these energies, recognizing the fact that you very much have chosen to be here at this time and in this moment. And so really, yes, it is important to have friendships and groups and family and relationships, but there is a greater purpose for a lot of us that are here right now. There is this driving force that we're feeling with this Three of Wands, and this strength that we can really hook into, this ancestral strength, this divine source strength of the infinite being that you are, and being able to bring remembrance about that. The divine feminine in the strength card is the one that then allows and gives the nod, gives the bang of the staff here to say, right now, divine feminine says divine masculine line, now to go forward, now to take action. But you are going to need strength to do that, because you're going to go against many of the crowds or the family members or the relationships that you're in with these energies that we're feeling right now with these opposing forces. Again, this would be for the 5th. Again, change, opposing forces, combat, different sides, and that comes up with this 5 of Swords. So 5 of Swords clarifies the strength card. And so this speaks of having the strength to not get stuck in the pointless battles that this 4 of Pentacles energy would want to have you stuck in, to stay, yes, you fought so far, but then do not get fixed on one aspect. Make sure that you're looking forward, make sure that you're moving forward, that you're going in flow, in order to not be trapped, in order to not be caged in by either the judgment of others, the fear of the judgment of others, or the judgment of self, being able to have that inner core strength to stand alone. And therefore it's great when other people resonate with what you're doing and stand with you, but ultimately having that infinite power and source and strength to be able to stand alone first. And so that is the test right now for sure, because there are a lot of distractions, a lot of beings really picking up on these energies who like the drama, who like the combat, who like the tit for tat, back and forth, the endless energetic feedback that gives a certain type of person, a certain type of being. And of course, as far as the wider scale goes, the government would want that. Of course they would, because the more the powerful are entering into and using their strength on pointless, very linear battles, it's going to take a lot of strength to get past those distractions, being able to see the next stage of the plan, being able to take the right actions when other people aren't seeing it. And sometimes that's difficult, I know. Predicting things before they happen, sometimes it's hard to convey to people, but listen, if you've maybe listened then, we would be already on to the next stage. We would be sort of at least at a tie level with them, rather than behind all of the time and being reactionary all the time, or we might even indeed be ahead. So it is difficult to find that inner strength to go against what is being very, very much so implemented in a lot of friendships, a lot of relationships in general, groups, movements, somewhat deliberately in some senses, this distractionary conflict. So being able to rise above that is super powerful, particularly on the 5th day, because that is the change number. It's all about the change. It's where you choose which way to go. Are you going to go backwards? Are you going to go forwards? Are you going to stay stuck? And so it's the hump day. And so it's super important to take that on board if you know what actions, intuitively, what actions need to be taken next. Now, the next card is the Hangman, but it's in reverse here. These cards sometimes are hard to see on the light, but it's in reverse here. So in the upright, how can you see it best? Oh, I need to get this light and sort it out. Are we doing it? Are we doing it? Are we doing it? Yes, we are. So the inner upright, you can see that there's sort of like this etching on the wall, ancient etching of the Hangman. And there's toil going on between these men. They're working hard. In reverse, this is where enlightenment is very foggy. You have to go seek it. You have to seek it within yourself, first and foremost. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, 1 second. This has been non-stop. Sorry, I thought I turned that off. Okay. Where else is it coming up? I'm sorry, people. I don't want to start again. Okay. Whew. Thank you for putting up with me. I thought I'd turned them all off. So this is where enlightenment is hard to find. It's where the Hangman in the upright major arcana is talking about being able to literally be in stillness, be in stasis, to be able to really have enlightenment about a certain position or a certain thought, or a greater knowing, being able to take that time out, to take that different position, hanging upside down, in order to have that enlightenment, that blood flow to the head. It's like Odin, you know, hanging himself to the tree, you know, pinning himself to the tree for those 9 days in order to recognize, have that enlightenment. And sometimes the Hangman comes in a very uncomfortable time and space in your life, in where enlightenment is difficult to find. You need to look at it from a different perspective, from a different way of seeing things. And so just like Odin, you know, you sort of have to really step out of the pain of your body, step out of the pain of the physical, the distractions of the physical, really go into that inner realm, that inner cosmos within self, and have that enlightenment that you can draw upon from the waters within, the eternal waters that run through your plasma, that run through your urinary system, that run through your organs, that run through your veins. And so there's true enlightenment that can be found, but in the reverse, with these opposing energies, it's very difficult, it's very foggy, and there is much distraction, there is much pull to stop you from getting into a space of stasis, into a space of stillness, where you can look at things from a different perspective, where you can really truly seek that enlightenment within self, rather than looking to the outside for that enlightenment. And so again, action wanting to be taken by some, others wanting to keep themselves and others in the same rhetoric, in the same narrative, in the same physical reality that's been built up, and others that are sort of having to wade through that fog, wade through that river to find that space of stillness where they can really understand what's going on the outside, turn that off and seek that enlightenment as to where the action needs to be taken, which would be incorporating the divine feminine, the grace and poise of the intuitive, before the action can be taken first within this Hangman. So in reverse, it is really difficult, but it also gives you a heads up of these energies that you're coming up against. If this isn't you, clinging on to the same reality for the fear of the new, the fear of the unknown, it really gives you a heads up as to where their mindset is, and to not be taken in from where their mindset is, which would be a trap. It would be a trap. And so clarifying the Hangman is another major arcana. So this is powerful. but it's in reverse. And so we have the Star card here. I want you to see this one, Star card, in reverse there. Now, in the upright, you can see here, she's making a circuit. She's pouring 2 jugs, one onto the ground, one into the stream, one into the flow of the river, a knee on the ground and a foot on the ground, and a foot into the water. You know, her face is covered. It's more about this inner standing and this raw acceptance of what has been, this raw acceptance of any pains, any hurts, and the journey thus far, and without any embarrassment, being able to feel that true connection in the inner cosmos to the outer cosmos, and creating that circuit board of above to below, really being under the dark night sky of the divine feminine, that dark woman manifest, but the spark and the bright light of the divine masculine within, to really take action to heal, have that healing process begin. And in order to do that, you are unashamed of your walk of life. You're unashamed of the lessons that you've learned, because you've gained more inner standing with self in the upright. Now, in the reverse, with this Hangman, this is super powerful, where picture the foggiest night you've ever seen and trying to see through that fog. This is where those that are hurt by you, those that are wanting to cling on to whatever reality that they've built up, this is an intense self-imprisonment of a pain, of a wound that they will not let go of. And again, there might be something within you, if this resonates within you, to try and fix this, to try and shed enlightenment on it, to try and burst the bubble of this little cage, that is being created, that is affecting you, when it's actually their inner wounds that are affecting them. But rather than look within themselves, they will look to this outer conflict with this 5 of Swords here, which then incorporates the other major arcana, which is the Strength card. And so it really is giving you a heads up of the fact that you really have to have the strength, if this resonates with you, to rise above this fog that is not yours, rise above it in the way that you can have your enlightenment and not doubt your enlightenment. But there is nothing you can do to, anything you do to enter into this, to fix it, let's say, or to help or to aid in one way or the other, to try and create or facilitate that healing, is actually going to make this person or this person's cage up more. They'll just, you'll be tricked into this to and fro battle, because there is no inkling here for the whoever resonates with this, whoever you know that this is reading about in your life, there is no inkling here that they want to really take the gifts of these 2 beautiful major arcanas and turn them in the upright to gain their own enlightenment and let go of these outer and inner conflicts. So if you're dealing with this in another, this is super difficult to deal with, because everything in you might want to fix it. Once you find that divine feminine, divine masculine strength within, it actually becomes very clear. You know, it's like that song, I can see clearly now the rain is gone. You know, the path just clears for you. The fog, there might be fog on either side of you, but where you walk, the path just clears for you. There is no fog, there is no inhibited sight. And so, because your sight's coming from within, that inner strength, that infinite space within you. And so that's not going to be liked by many, let's say, today. And so, yeah, intense energies. It's also intense for those of you that know that I'm reading for you, regarding the fact that the real reluctance to look within these inner wounds so deeply, the real reluctance to have this true inner healing, to be able to be your raw and real self, to be able to accept what has gone by and let it be in flow, to allow the earth to ground you, to allow the river to cleanse you, so to speak, both within and the without. And so again, very difficult energies to navigate for sure, but navigated correctly, huge amounts of healing, huge amounts of wholeness and enlightenment can be created within, and therefore on the outer stage of your reality. Now we've got the Eight of Swords as the last card, well, the last main card. So the Eight of Swords speaks to, again, this endless battle of the consciousness of someone or something, and this self-imprisonment of words, of repetitive, derogatory words that are being put out to others, when actually it is a battle of the divinities within, in that it's an attack on self, but you know, it's also happening too, because people are reluctant for this healing, they're projecting it out, and there's nothing you can do to get these people off this merry-go-round. They're very much stuck in this narrative, and so it is a case of you stepping outside of that. Now, if I'm reading for you and you're stuck in this Eight of Swords energy, and that fog that has been created by not really wanting to take hold of the beauty of the energies of the Star card and the Hangman card, then this would speak to using tools such as transmuting that energy, putting it into more bite-sized forms, writing things down, transmuting them from thought form, which is the swords, which is this suit here, from thought form into down your arm into physical written form, bringing it into physicality. So sort of emptying the consciousness as you do that process. And then you can do things like burn them. You can do things like scrumple them up and rip them. You can then show yourself that these are thoughts and they are your thoughts. So you can take hold of them. You can drag them out of your consciousness into, through your arm, into the physical reality, in which case they look so much smaller and so much less daunting, in that you can handle them. It creates a bite-sized version that you can really get a grip of, because the Eight of Swords energy without that is that thought merry-go-round of the same cyclical thoughts going round and round and round in the consciousness with no end, creating this self-imprisonment of thoughts. And so to clarify this card, we have the Knight of Pentacles. And again, this is about taking it easy, putting it in bite-sized forms. The Knight of Pentacles is slow and steady, but is a strategist. And so for those of you that I'm not reading for here, but you can recognize these energies in your own life or on the collective scale, be careful, because this would be, ironically, the narcissistic energy, the strategist, the person who doesn't mind being in this thought prison, that doesn't mind strategizing of how to get back at what they perceive as an enemy outside of themselves. It's interesting that we have, what was I going to say there? The 9 with the Strength card and the 8 here at the end of the reading with the 8 of Swords. It really is about having the strength to either personally deal with these thoughts and transmute them, to let yourself out of this thought prison, this consciousness prison, or it really is about you having the strength to rise above somebody else's imprisonment, to not allow them to imprison you with thoughts of theirs about you, or the perception of you, or the perception that they are strategically creating about you. And this really is a ding-ling-ling warning to those of you in your personal life who are dealing with these energies, either within yourself or within another, and those of us that are in a movement that wants to create change for a positive way. It's to recognize that, you know, people are at different levels, and there is going to be levels of infiltration, of lack of understanding, of deliberate infiltration, or just from a place of lack of understanding of a greater sense of source energy, of the infinite. So be aware of this. Take what resonates again, leave what does not. I'm going to have to go because Theodore's shouting. I don't know what is going on, but he needs me. Much love, balance, and wholeness. Please do me a favor. I've had my business and it still continues. This is still continuing. Please do share my videos. Please do subscribe and book in a reading. They are epic readings, and everybody who I've read for has always had a positive result, as into having an insight of how to go forward in a greater way. Check out my socials and just be a friend. I really do appreciate all of your friendships. Much love, balance, and wholeness. Thanks to Theodore. Goodbye. Mwah.